Hello and welcome to Herald TV News Bulletin with me, Orina. In a major victory to those opposing double tracking, the Supreme Court cancelled the National Board of Wildlife clearance granted for the railway line between Thinai Gut to Castle Rock in Karnataka and Kule in Goa. This is a 25-kilometer stretch part of Phase 2 of the project. The Supreme Court has, however, allowed the railways to reapply. Goans and activists have reacted positively to the Supreme Court decision.
Supreme Court on Monday affirmed the centrally empowered committee recommendation on railway double tracking. The Supreme Court cancelled the National Board of Wildlife clearance granted for the project. The Supreme Court has, however, allowed the railways to reapply. This is a major victory for Goans opposed to the project, says petitioner of Goa Foundation.
जे सुप्रीम कोर्टान CC recommendation uphold केला ते आमी एज गोंयचो एक वोट हो वेलकम करता आनी आमी गोंयचे सरकाराक सांगपाक सोदता की आमी पयलींच्यान तुका सांगताले की हो जो प्रोजेक्ट जो आसा हो गोंयच्या पर्यावरणाचे हिता भायर आसा, गोंयचे लायव्हलीहूडाचे हिता भायर आसा आनी गोंयचे इकॉनॉमीचे हिता भायर आसा. सो हो जो प्रोजेक्ट जो आसा हो फकत कोल हाडपा खातीर. It is very clearly said in the Sagarmala volume 6 that this project double tracking is been built exclusively to transport coal to the other state. So आमी कितें म्हणटा, तुमी हो कोल हब करनाका. हो एक ट्युरिस्टीक डेस्टिनेशन आसा, आमी वर्ल्ड फेमस आसा ट्युरिजमाक लागून. तुमी हो जो प्रोजेक्ट पळय आसा दुसऱ्या स्टेटीन व्हरा. कित्याक आमचो स्टील प्लांट गोंयान ना, दुसऱ्या स्टेटीन आसा, आमकां कोल गोंयान नाका, दुसऱ्या स्टेटीक जाय. सो गोंय कित्याक यूज करता?
Today the Supreme Court has upheld the recommendation of the CEC to scrap the doubling of the Southwestern Railway tracks in totality and has revoked or rather rejected the approval given by the Wildlife Board for the double tracking. Time and time again, the judiciary has upheld what the civil society has been saying all along, that these projects, the tree linear projects, are the most destructive of the kind that Goa has encountered over the years.
बरी खबर आमच्या कानार पडली. It's a matter of great joy. Supreme Court has finally spoken. The verdict is given. Double tracking in Goa has been cancelled. आमची परबी to all the green activists, आमची परबी to all the advocates, the legal team, परबी to all the youth and all the people of Goa who stood by us. A humble appeal to our environment minister and the forest minister and the chief minister, government of Goa, and आमचो appeal to the state wildlife advisory board. Please do not proceed with reapplication. Please respect and accept the verdict of the Supreme Court that has been given.
हॅपियस्ट डे सगळ्या गोंयकारांक जे डबल ट्रॅकिंगाचे अगेन्स्ट झगडले, आमचे जे गोंयकार जेंच्यांनी केसी घेतले, जो गोंयकार त्या दिसा चांदोर उबो आसलेलो कॅन्डल घेवन कितें निशेध करपाक, ताका हांव सॅल्यूट करता आनी देव बरें करूं म्हणटा तुमकां. आयज जे सुप्रीम कोर्टाचें डिसिजन येयला, मायंड ब्लोईंग विक्ट्री, तुमची गोंयकारांची विक्ट्री, आमच्या गोंयकारांचो विजय हो. ज्या लोकांनी दातान धरलेले सोडूंक ना आनी आयज हे सुप्रीम कोर्टान जे डिसिजन दिला, कितें ईच एंड एवरी गोंयकार कितें ही विक्ट्री डिजर्व करता.
Shweta Kamath for Herald TV.
The Travel and Tourism Association of Goa has called for cracking down on those not using taxi meters, since this is affecting tourism in Goa, and also added that Goa needs to welcome Ola, Uber kind of services. The state also needs to be transparent and have better public transport services. TTAG President Nilesh Shah said on Monday, speaking to Herald TV exclusively about the tourism minister's call to restrict the permits on renter bikes and cars.
Only legal businesses should be allowed in Goa. Goa needs to welcome Ola and Uber services, says TTAG President Nilesh Shah. The state also needs to be transparent and have better public transport services. Commenting on the taxi services, he said that government should go strict on those who are not using the meters as this is affecting the tourists in Goa.
It is good to say that we'll cancel all this is fine, but we also have to understand if tourists are using or they're risking their life with the bikes in Goa, why they're doing it, because we are not able to provide a competitive, transparent transport system to the tourists. So I think it has to go hand in hand, where in one side make it a strict to implementation of taxi meters, which have already been given order by Honorable High Court, where they are fixing the meters. Government has given the reimbursement of the taxi meter charges, but they are not using those meters. So it has become like a white elephant. So there has to be strict law as far as the usage of meter is concerned. Permits should be cancelled if they are not using meters, and also Goa Miles is operating. We should allow other digital operators to operate the system. And one thing we very, very clear, this taxis, it's not a tourist issue, it is a local issue also. Locals will start using it. We see a lot of locals bringing their cars and bikes out. If there is a proper system, they will start using this system. Specifically at night time, many times they out. In Goa, we have a culture of going out at night. So people will start using the mode of transport if available, which is more competent. So I think everything has to go hand in hand. And one thing is clear, only legal business should be allowed. If there are illegal permits given, it has to be cancelled. We like it or we don't like it. So that is one aspect of it. Secondly, usage of rent a car or bikes by tourists. Why that is happening? Because there is no proper mode of transport system in Goa. So it's high time we have a coach service throughout connecting full of Goa with proper timing. And secondly, make a way out for digitalization of transport. That is allowing Olas and Ubers of the world to be operating in Goa. Because that is how the world is moving towards it. And there has to be more transparent system of operating in Goa, which is not there. That the government has to work full holistically. They also have to put in rules and regulations for taxis to operate, so there is more transparent system. And if they are going to cancel certain permits and other things, it will, if it's illegal, it's better to be, because ultimately any illegal business is not good for any state, because government is losing out on the revenue. And secondly, way I look at it, I think they have said that they'll freeze the new permits. So existing permits, when they come for renewal, that is a separate question altogether. But as of now, what I hear from the newspaper, what they have said, they are freezing the new permits. But by doing all those things, government also has to see that the tourist does not suffer, locals don't suffer, and they have the right mode of transport to travel from A to B place, A to B city in Goa or A to B village in Goa.
Clinton D'Souza for Herald TV.
The bereaved observing the first death anniversaries of COVID victims, but the rupees 2 lakh state government compensation and the rupees 4 lakh central compensation has not been paid to next of kin, Congress has said. The party also demanded that relief be also given to small businessmen who had filled forms for relief by paying rupees 5,000. The government claims it is financially stressed, but how did they spend rupees 5.5 crore for the swearing-in ceremony of the cabinet, the party questioned.
Where is rupees 6 lakh compensation to COVID deceased? Congress asked the government. Griha Aadhar and other welfare schemes not paid on time. When finances are under stress, how did the government spend rupees 5.5 crore on cabinet swearing in?
हे एक्झॅक्टली 1 वर्ष पयलीं 2021 ह्या एप्रिल मे म्हयन्यांनी घडलेलें. कित्याक आज जर पेपर काडून पळयत जाल्यार पेपराचेर 1 year रिमेंबरन्स आमकां आज जे लोक कोविडान लास्ट टायम मेल्या तेंचे आज आमकां 1 वर्साचें आज पळोवपाक मेळटा. एक आठवण एक साठवण येता पेपरांचेर. पूण हे 1 वर्स जावन पसून जे ह्या लोकांक कोविड कंपेन्सेशन जे दिवपाक जाय आशिल्लें 2 लाख रुपया सरकारान जाहीर केल्ले. आज पर्यंत हे 2 लाख रुपया आयिल्ले ना लोकांक. 1 वर्स जावन गेले. डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट एक्टा अंडर गायडलायन्सा प्रमाणे 4 लाख रुपया कोविड विक्टिम्साच्या फॅमिलीक दिवपाक जाय. पूण ते 4 लाखाचो अजून पत्तो ना. सो प्रत्यक्षान ह्या लोकांक 6 लाख रुपयांची जी मदत मेळपाक जाय आशिल्ली कोवीड जे कोण विक्टिम्स आसा त्यांचे फॅमिलीक, पूण आज पर्यंत ह्या पयशांचो आज पत्तो ना. कोवीड तुमकां खबर आसतलें की ते फॉर्म्स भरून घेतले. जे ट्रेडिशनल बिझनेसमॅन जे कोण आशिल्ले, नुस्तेकार जावं खाजेकार, जे कोविडाक लागून ज्यांचो धंद्याक मार बसलेलो, त्यांचे कडल्यान 5,000 रुपयाचे फॉर्म्स भरून घेतले. पूण हे आतां हे फॉर्म भरून आतां जाले कितके 6-7 म्हयने जाले, पूण आज पर्यंत ह्या पयशांचो आज पत्तो ना. मागीर हे सगळें सरकाराचें हें दोळ्यां उदक लावपाचो सगळें चल्लां. खऱ्या लोकांक जर मना पासून जर हांकां हेल्प करपाक जाय आशिल्लो, कित्याक हे आज जो खरो जो घरचो एक अर्निंग मेंबर आशिल्लो, त्यांचो जर मृत्यू जाला, त्यांच्या घरान फाटल्यान आज कमोवपी कोण ना, अशी आज परिस्थिती आसा. तांकां खरी ह्या पयशांची आज गरज आशिल्ली, त्या लोकां पर्यंत आज मदत पावल्ली ना. इवन जेन्ना ह्यो स्किम्स DSS अंडर 2,000 रुपया येता, गृह आधार 1,500 येता, हे पसून तेन्ना खरी कोविडा टायमार लोकांचे धंदे काबार जाल्ले, ज्या टायमार हे पयशे लोकां पर्यंत पावपाक जाय आशिल्ले, ते पसून त्या टायमार खरी गरज आशिल्ली तेन्ना हे लोकां पर्यंत पयशे पावले ना. सरकार म्हणटा आज सरकारी तिजोरेचेर खूब लोड आसा, पूण सरकाराक जेन्ना शपथविधी जाता थंय 5.5 कोटी खर्च करपाक सरकाराचें बजेट आसा. पूण हे जेन्ना 5,000 रुपयाचे तुमी फॉर्म्स भरून घेतले कोविडा लागून, हे तुमचे कडेन आज दिवपाक पयशे ना.
Bureau Report, Herald TV.
My Tenants Association has flayed the government machinery for not taking any action against the 400 trucks which were making 3 to 4 trips through Maye village. They stated that the government machinery only targeted the farmers who were protesting and whose fields and water pipelines were destroyed through ore transportation. They disclosed how they were beaten, arrested and kept for hours without food or water, and the illegal ore transporters were allowed to ply their trade until, with the help of Goa Foundation, they had no option but to approach the courts. They also pointed out that despite the ore transportation through the village, Maye was not on the transportation map.
My tenant associations has fled the government machinery for not taking any action against the 400 trucks. They disclosed how they were beaten, arrested and kept for hours without food or water. My tenant association demanded that locals be employed once auction of leases happens.
भर गावांतल्यान ट्रान्सपोर्ट चालू केलो. दिसाक साधारण 100-200 ट्रक आणि अरुंद रस्तो, साधारण 3 मीटर रस्तो, तितूंतल्या तितून दोन्ही सायडींनी पायपांक लागून रस्तो खणलेलो आसलो. आणि ह्या परिस्थितीन तेंच्यांनी माल व्हरपाक सुरू केली. आणि जेन्ना माल व्हरपाक सुरू केली, आमी परत आमच्या उपजिल्हाधिकाऱ्याक आमी निवेदनां दिली. त्याच्या पयलीं कितलेशेच आमी फावटी तेंच्या लक्षान हाडून दिल्लें की हो ट्रान्सपोर्ट तुमी हांगासल्यान करूं नाका. आणि ताका 2 वाटो आसात, ज्यो जेटी आसा चौगुलेची, आणि त्या शिवाय शिरगांव ते आमची जी सेजा मायनींग आसा थंयसरल्यान हो ट्रान्सपोर्ट व्हरपाक शकता. फक्त थोडेशें जे रस्त्याचें काम आसा तो करचें पडटा. पूण हे सगळें आनीक भाव आहा तांकां अटक केल्ली आणि तांकांय थंयसर थोड्यांक बेदम मारहाण केली पुलिशेन व्हरून. म्हणून निष्पन्न हें कांय ना, ट्रान्सपोर्ट हो वाहतूक चालूच आसली. शेवटी पर्याय म्हणून परत आमी आमचे जे नवनिर्वाचित आमदार आसा तेंच्या बरोबर एक उपजिल्हाधिकारी बैठक जाली आणि बैठकीन संयुक्त बैठक जाली. ह्या बैठकीन तो ट्रान्सपोर्ट इल्लिगल आहा हो आमी तेंच्या निदर्शनाक हाडून दिले. त्याचे मिनिट्स बरे म्हणून आमी सांगलेले. ते मिनिट्स आयज मेरेन डेप्युटी कलेक्टराच्या ऑफिसांसून आमकां मेळना. आमी आमदाराच्या लक्षान हाडून दिलें की हो रूट जो आहा तो विलेजींतल्यान वयता, त्याच बरोबर मये गांवचें नांव ह्या रुटान खंयसरूच ना. तरी आसतना दुसरे दीस एक दीस मदीं सोडून तिसरे दीस हेंच्यांनी परत ट्रान्सपोर्ट थंयसर चालू केलो आणि परतूय आमी थंयसर आडयलो ट्रान्सपोर्ट. आणि आमकां परत आसा तशें तेंच्यांनी अरेस्ट केले. परतूय आमकां दिसभर थंयसर पुलिशेन बसयले. जेवण ना, च्या ना, उदक ना, आणि थंयसर आमकां बसून सांजचे मागीर डेप्युटी कलेक्टरा कडेन वयर येले आणि आमच्या कडल्यान बॉन्ड सायन मारून आमकां घरा सोडली. तर अशा पद्दतीन प्रशासकीय जे यंत्रणा आसा ते सामान्य नागरिकाच्यो ज्यो समस्या आहात त्यो आयकना.
Prasad Polji for Herald TV.
Goa police will begin investigations into the mysterious death of a lady tourist who was found dead in a hotel at Arambol 4 weeks ago. The case was previously transferred to the SDM for an inquiry. However, the family of the deceased have suspected foul play in the death and the case has been handed back to the Goa police. The police will soon register an FIR and carry out investigations.
Goa police to begin investigations into the mysterious death of a lady tourist 4 weeks ago in Arambol. The woman was found dead in her hotel room. The police will soon register a FIR and carry out the investigations.
In the month of April, around a fortnight back, a matter had come to the notice of North Goa district that one lady who had come for a holiday with her husband had died in the hotel. In that case, a case of unnatural death was registered at that time. Since the death was within 7 years of marriage, as per legal procedure, the case was handed over to the SDM for inquiry. Shortly after it was taken over by the SDM, it has come to our notice now that the family of the girl is alleging some foul play in that death. Now that it has come to our notice, we are proceeding legally in that matter and we are taking cognizance of that allegation. The investigation is underway and we will be registering an FIR in the matter very soon. We will be taking over the papers needed for investigation from the SDM and a fair investigation will be carried out.
Post-mortem report में क्या पता चला उसके?
Because the investigation currently is with the SDM, we will have to collect the documents from the SDM, only then we will know what details have come forth in the post-mortem report and other inquiries which were conducted by the SDM.
उसके अंदर कलेक्टर का भी नाम जोड़ा जा रहा है.
Collector name is coming in the family.
जो न्यूज़ वायरल हो रहा है.
I cannot comment on that right now because as per procedure we had handed over the entire inquiry to the SDM. So now we will take up investigation as per law and we will start investigation.
स्टार्टिंग में उन्होंने पुलिस के पास कुछ कंप्लेंट किया था, उसमें क्या?
नहीं, हम पुलिस के पास कोई कंप्लेंट नहीं किया है. हम लोगों को जो पता चला है दैट हैज़ कम from social media and also through an official channel. Now a letter has come, so we are taking cognizance. We are in touch with the family of the deceased girl and fair investigation will be carried out.
Prasad Polchi for Herald TV.
The concerned citizens of all over Goa against illegalities, along with MLA Rajesh Valdesai, spoke out against the construction of the illegal structure and heritage grounds at Old Goa. MLA Rajesh Valdesai said the concerned authorities need to make sure such illegalities do not take place in the future and that a NOC should be procured before any construction until this issue is resolved. They also pointed out that the permission given by the ASI to repair a hut on the premises and not for constructing a bungalow.
MLA Rajesh Valdesai said the concerned authorities need to make sure such illegalities do not take place in the future. He also put forth a letter to the authorities that a NOC should be procured before any construction until the issue is resolved. It was pointed out that the permission was given by the ASI to repair a hut on the premises and not for a construction.
This structure which is come on that area is new. आणि ते हेरिटेज सायटीचेर आसा. हे मेंबराचेर ते करता स्टेईंग बिटवीन इज अ प्रोटेक्टेड एरिया, वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज सायट. आणि ती वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज सायट म्हणजे हार्ट एक्झिस्ट आहे, ताका परमिशन दिला.
मोडपाचे कशें इनलिगल वाले मोडपाकूय म्हणजे प्रोसिजर लागता, कोर्टान गेल्या ते आमी आतां सगळे पेपर एकटेन करून आमी आतां ती फॉर्मेलिटी करपाक चालू केल्या. जाता तितले बेगीन हांव तेंचे बरोबर सामको ठामपणे जाता तितले बेगीन ते मोडपाचे ज्या हितून चीफ मिनिस्टरा कडेन हांवें टायम मागलेलो आहा, ह्या लागून डिस्कस केल्लें आहा की जाता तितले बेगीन आमी ह्या कामाक लागून तेणें प्रॉमिस केला. आमी ते सगळे पेपर पळय आनी आमी तुज्या बरोबर रावतले, म्हणजे जे कितें इनलिगल आमी ताका थारो दिवचो ना अशें म्हणून
चालूच करप. The next 5 years, how would you see that as an MLA? बाबा असल्यो हें जावन त्रास जायना जावपाक, कित्याक हें फुडें जाल्यार मागीर लोकांक एकठांय जावचें पडटा सगळें जाता. सो हेजेर तूं कशें तक्कल दितलो की पंचायती इलिगॅलिटीज करना पयली
ना पळय ह्यान पयलीं कितें जालां तें आमकां खबर ना म्हणून
फुडें
कळना. आतां ह्यान फुडें अशें केन्नाच जावचें ना, सगळें केन्नाच खबर येवचो ना आनी आमकां हें नाका. जे लोकांक नाका तें नाका आनी इलिगल तर आमकां नाकाच अशें आमचें चिंतप सदांच.
ह्या दिसांनी म्हणटलें
आतां पळय आमचो प्रोसिजर चालू आसा. आतां कित्याक तें कोर्ट मेळटा, कोर्ट मेळटा वयल्यान आमी आतां तें फुडें फुडें प्रोसेस करीत आहा. आमकां गॅरंटी आहा आनी आमच्या न्यायपालिकेचेरूय आमकां भरोसा आहा, त्याच बरोबर आमच्या गव्हर्मेंटाचेरूय आमकां भरोसा आहा की आमकां जाता तितलो हेल्प जावन आमी जाता तितले बेगीन मोडपाच्या प्रयत्नान आसा. तुमी जाणा इलिगल आसता तेका मोडपाक आतां भरपूर फॉर्मेलिटी आसा ती आमचें चालू आसा.
तुमी हें सांगले 2020 तांकां ते मोडपाक लायले ते कितें मोडूंक ना तेजे?
See, there are a lot of issues in there. तेमी तेंचे वाटेन ट्राय केले मागीर तेजे लिगल मॅटर पळय इज व्हेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड आनी स्पेशली तुमी जाणा आसतले कोर्टा आमकां पळय आमी एप्रिलान गेल्ले मेयान मागीर फक्त मेयासान कोर्टार हें कोन्न आतां जुनान घातल्या. सो हे प्रोसिजरा लागून म्हाका दिसता कितें तरी आडखळ येयल्यो पूण आमी ते डॉक्युमेंट सगळे काडल्यार कितें आडखळ ते आमी आज हिंगा उलोवपाक शकना कित्याक कोण ठिकाण आसता म्हणटा तशें. सो रायट टायमार आमी होच चान्स घेवन रावता कोर्टान आमकां एलाव करचें आनी आमकां सगळे भायर काडटले. बट ASI हॅव डन व्हेरी गुड जॉब.
Prasad Polji for Herald TV.
The contract workers who were working at the Institute of Psychiatry and Human Behavior continued their protest at Azad Maidan on Monday, demanding regularization of services. Speaking to media, one of the workers said that it has been 9 long years since we are serving IPHB. Instead of regularizing the old contract staff, the government has done injustice to us by recruiting new staff on permanent basis without taking the contract staff into consideration.
IPHB workers are on protest again after the government failed to solve their issues. Workers said that it has been 9 years long since we are serving for IPHB. Instead of regularizing the old contract staff, the government has done injustice to us by recruiting the new staff on permanent basis without taking the contract staff into confidence.
आज आमी हांगा बसले आमकां 27 दीस जाल्लेले आहा आनी अजून ताका आमकां सरकारचो निर्णय कितें कळोंक ना. म्हणजे आमच्या घरा कडेन आमची परिस्थिती सारकी बिकट जाल्लेली आहा, हाल जाल्लेले आहा. आमच्या भुरग्या बाळांचे सगळे हे जाल्लेले आहा. फॅमिलीच्या आवय बापायचे सुद्दां त्रास जाल्लेले आहा की घराक व्हरतलो कितें आमचे कडेन येयना आनी म्हटल्यार पयशे ना आमचे कडेन.
सरकारान हेचेर आमचे म्हाका तरी अशें दिसता की सरकारान हेचेर बेगीन एक्शन घेवपाचें कित्याक आमच्या आतां परिस्थिती अशें ना हांगा दिल्ली येवन बसपाची. तरी सरकारान एक माणूसच्या दृश्टीन एक बेगीन एक्शन घेवपाचें कितें आमकां खंय तरी एक पटापटीन तेंकोवपाचें अशें हांव सरकारा कडेन रिक्वेस्ट करता.
CMाक आमी एकदां मेळाले आनी आमकां करता म्हणून सांगलेलें आनी आमकां इतको विश्वास आहा की तो सर CM सर आमचो करतलो गो. आमकां इतलो विश्वास आहा तेचेर आयज ना जाल्यार करतलोच तो.
आतां आमी कित्याक बसले आशेन बसल्या न्हू. सरकार आमचे करतले म्हणून बसले. आमकां होप आहा आतां केन्ना करतले हें आमकांय खबर ना न्हू. आतां आमी घरा कडेन रावन म्हणून कितें करतले ते आहा प्रश्न. आतां फॉर एग्जाम्पल आमची आतां फी आसतली भुरग्यांची तुमकां खबर आहा फी कशी काय चलता ती. पण आतां ती फी आतां आमी भरप काय ती भुरग्यांक घरा कडेन दवरप. CMा कडेन लास्ट केन्ना गेल्लेले आनी लेटर बरयल्लें कितें बरयल्लें तुमी लेटरान कितें मागलेलें CMा कडेन तुमी? आमकां परत कामाक घेवपाचें. कशें कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट बेजीस घेवपाचें काय परमनंट घेवपाचें? परमनंट कित्याक म्हणून घेवपाचें? परमनंट ना जाल्यार आमकां पयलीं कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट बेजीस घेवपाचें आफ्टर मागीर तो प्रोसेस चालू करपाचो. हे रिक्वेस्ट केल्ले हांवें. रिक्वेस्ट तेच आमी सांगता.
Clinton D'Souza for Herald TV.
The COVID testing lab at Hospicio, South Goa District Hospital, which was one of the first labs to conduct COVID tests in South Goa, has completed 2 years. The lab came into existence during the first COVID-19 wave in 2020. Being the only lab catering to COVID testing in South Goa, the understaffed doctors and technicians have worked tirelessly to bring out the COVID test reports. The lab is now upgraded with more trained staff.
South Goa's first COVID-19 testing lab at Hospicio, South Goa District Hospital, turns 2. The understaffed doctors and technicians have worked tirelessly to bring out the COVID test reports. The lab is now upgraded with more trained staff.
I'm district microbiologist working under Hospicio Hospital. Now we are shifted to South Goa District Hospital. I have been working here from past 7 years. And our main achievement has been in this pandemic is setting up of the RT-PCR COVID lab. Tomorrow we are completing 2 years of our COVID lab, successfully running 24/7 throughout the year, and we have done almost 2 lakhs plus RT-PCR tests along with the antigen, almost covering to about 5 lakh tests done till date. One thing I want to tell is this journey was not very easy. We started off as pre-microbiologist doctors along with just couple of technicians. We started the lab in 2020, wherein our duties were very hectic. We were running more than 12-hour shift starting from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 p.m. in the evening, and then the night shift would start again at 5 p.m. till next day 8 a.m. It was very tough to handle things initially, but as and when time passed, we got more staff, more machines, and our testing capacity increased. But before this, I would say we were the only lab in South Goa who were catering to the needs of whole South Goa. That time, we were the first lab in the premises of South Goa District Hospital to start COVID-19 testing. So we had joined this COVID-19 since it started in June 2020 and working till date. We have faced this was a different thing like we have experienced because of this pandemic, and testing was done. We were working in shifts. The night shifts were really very hectic. We had forgotten about the festivals, the public holidays, and we were just keen into work all the time. And our doctors, the heads, everybody was asking for the reports. We were pressurized from outside. Like everybody wanted to know their reports for medical purpose, maybe for other related issues like travel purpose. Everybody wants to know their reports as soon as possible, and that was one of the pressures which we had faced. Then we also tried to we worked as a family. First of all, we worked as a family. We didn't have any issues regarding that. We just left behind our personal life and really focused on this pandemic, and nobody was complaining as such. We were all into it, and this was my experience in this COVID-19. We have learned a lot. Different machines were bought. We were given training by our doctors. Okay, and we were even told to work in other labs where there were less staff, and we were even placed in other labs.
Aditya Bidre for Herald TV.
The cyclonic storm Asani, developed overnight over the Bay of Bengal, will have no severe weather impact over Goa. However, the westerly components of winds in the lower levels of the atmosphere in Goa might bring rains for the state from around May 10th onwards. Isolated rainfall can be expected in North and South Goa for the next 4 to 5 days. Due to Asani hovering over the Bay of Bengal, the wind patterns will bring moisture over Goa, resulting in cloudy weather. Since the cyclonic storm is looming over the Bay of Bengal, no warning has been issued to fishermen venturing into the Arabian Sea.
10th मई के बाद उसका मूवमेंट होगा नॉर्थ ईस्ट डायरेक्शन में, और ये सिस्टम बे ऑफ बंगाल में होने के कारण देयर इज नो सीवियर वेदर इम्पैक्ट एक्सपेक्टेड ओवर गोवा बिकॉज ऑफ दिस सिस्टम, लेकिन देयर इज पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ सम चेंज इन विंड पैटर्न्स ओवर गोवा, and these are the fishermen warnings for these 5 days over Bay of Bengal, particularly over Arabian Sea. There is no warning for fishermen. Or Bay of Bengal, there are wind speed even reaching up to 100 kilometers per hour in the coming 3 to 4 days. So fishermen are requested not to venture into these areas, particularly over Bay of Bengal, southeast, central Bay of Bengal, and parts of North Bay of Bengal. The wind speed will be there. The fisherman warning is not there for Arabian Sea or Goa region, लेकिन there are warnings for Bay of Bengal. अभी गोवा के बारे में बोलेंगे तो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस सिस्टम एंड इट्स मूवमेंट देयर इज नो सीवियर वेदर एक्सपेक्टेड ओवर गोवा, लेकिन लोअर लेवल की विंड पैटर्न्स में थोड़ा चेंज होने के चांसेस है, और वेस्टर्ली विंड लोअर लेवल में रहने के कारण मॉइस्चर गोवा के ऊपर ज़्यादा रहेगा, और उसके साथ ही क्लाउड फॉर्मेशन भी उसके कारण ज़्यादा रहेगा. 10th मई से आइसोलेटेड लाइट रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी गोवा के ऊपर, नॉर्थ एंड साउथ गोवा के ऊपर पॉसिबल है, और ये एक्टिविटी 4 से 5 दिन और कंटिन्यू रहेगा, लाइट रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी, और क्लाउडी स्काइस रहेंगे, और टेम्परेचर के बारे में बोलेंगे तो 8th और 9th मई को आज और कल मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर में डे टाइम मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर में ज़्यादा कुछ चेंज नहीं रहेगा, लेकिन उसके बाद देयर इज ए पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ फॉल इन मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर बाय अराउंड 1 to 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस फ्रॉम अराउंड 10th May. And this is the latest forecast based on latest observations and numerical weather prediction model outputs.
Prasad Polji for Herald TV.
And that's all we have in today's news bulletin. Thanks for watching Herald TV News. For more news alerts, please follow us on O Heraldo on Facebook and Twitter. Take care and goodbye.